So this is the first of what I hope to be 3 short videos on the truth about Martin Luther King, because if you didn't know, over the past, 30, 40 years, there seems to have been a watering down of his legacy. And I've been doing some digging thanks to the inspiration I received from Professor Truth. Shout out once again to Professor Truth. It seems that Julia Roberts has a connection to Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King. So the headline reads, Julia Roberts, Martin Luther King Jr. paid hospital bill for my birth. Julia Roberts revealed that the late Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King, paid the hospital bill for her birth when her parents couldn't afford it. Julia Roberts explained to Gayle King that her parents befriended the Kings while living in Atlanta and running a theater school. One day, Coretta called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids. And that's not so surprising because as in the 1960s, as is today, black kids are finding it hard to be accepted in places like the arts or even just regular schools, private schools especially. Anyway, Julia says, my mom was like, sure, come on over. And so they all became friends and they helped us out of a jam. It previously has been reported that a Ku Klux Klan member blew up a car outside of one of Betty and Walter Roberts' plays in response to King Jr.'s daughter, Yolanda, being cast in a role where she had to kiss a white actor. So did you get that? The Klan blew up a car outside of Betty and Roberts' plays because Martin Luther King's daughter, Yolanda, kissed a white actor. Oh, God. By the way, my dad named my younger sister, Yolanda, in honor of Martin Luther King. Just on a side note. Now, she came to her prominence when sites like Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood were really big. I remember as a kid watching these shows. They talk everything about celebrities, even the most mundane things, what they have for breakfast, whose dress they're wearing, where are they going to vacation? Is it Cabo or is it San Martin? Just the most mundane things. I remember when Julia starred in, what was that Ocean's movie with George Clooney? Was it Ocean's 13? Anyway, they played like a 50-second clip. It wasn't even a minute long. 50-second clip, like every day for almost 2 weeks. I remember seeing that same clip on one of these entertainment shows. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, these guys must have run out of material. And yet from that time, late 80s, maybe early 90s, up until today, no one has bothered to check on the story between Martin Luther King and Julia Roberts' parents. By the way, Julia Roberts, even though her last name is Roberts, apparently she is not a robber. Apparently, after her birth dad died, her mom had an affair with a married man. Ooh. And so in order to avoid the controversy, I guess the mom decided to keep the Roberts name and attach it to her daughter, and the rest is history. Anyway, the article concludes by saying, earlier this month, the Pretty Women star gushed about life with her husband, Danny Moder, and their kids, 17-year-old twins, Hazel and Phineas, and 15-year-old Henry. Now, I wonder what the situation might be for the Roberts family with their acting studio and the finances and the birth of Julia. Because remember, in America, finances and credit and bills are everything. Often we hear about how white benefactors benefit poor black people. But in this case, in the 1960s, a black couple, a famous black couple at that, benefited this white couple who gave birth to this woman. So why wasn't that like mentioned at all in mainstream media? I have my theories, but I would love to hear your theories as to why it was not mentioned. One of the most famous black couples on the planet was not mentioning about helping pay the bills for the birth of Julia Roberts.